But, I got everything together. I confronted her, and I just said, don't even fucking deny it. I tracked your fucking car from space. Hello everybody, Terrence Popp here with another episode, live from the Lair. All right, where'd we leave off? Let's see, I was going to Suffolk, which is Special Forces Advanced Urban Warfare course. I got a rude awakening when I got there. I had done all that time in Lair. I was there for 10 years. Fired a lot of the other weapons, but didn't really catch up on my pistol work. So when I got there, I think our first 5 days, all we did was shoot pistols all day at different ranges, at different distances, moving targets, on hand, off hand, behind cover in the prone. The whole deal. And my shot grouping was absolute shit. It was shameful. Apparently I had let that skill set slip a little bit, which I rectified quickly thereafter by purchasing 2 357 revolvers and practicing with those on double action, so you get the full trigger squeeze, and I would put a couple of blank shells in there, spin the cylinder, shut it, so you don't know if you're falling on a dry cylinder or not, and you can actually see if you're jumping and flinching and shit. And it took a long time. I think I was able to get my pistol work back up to snuff. It took about 4 or 5 months. Another thing I did that helped out a lot is I purchased some airsoft pistols, the one that have the recoil and they look like the real thing, And I had 2 mags, so I'd have to go through that 1 mag and then do two magazine changes, because gunfighting is really all about muscle memory. It happens so fast that you really don't think about it. It's like literally once it starts, you go on autopilot and that's it. Either you live or you die, or you get away clean, which does happen a lot, because there's lots of encounters where cops empty their entire magazine in their pistol at some perp at 5 meters and all of them miss. So, pistols are not the most accurate thing, but if that's all you got, that's all you got. So we did that. I did a lot of M4 reflexive fire. We did a lot of the shotgun reflexive fire, and then off pattern shooting is where you fire the 12 gauge so many times that you pretty much know how the pattern is going to be. So if you have to engage an individual who's holding a hostage, or do other kind of trick shooting, you can actually fire off to the side of your target and have one of the pellets actually hit what you're shooting at, and not the person that he's standing behind or standing in front of or whatever. So that was kind of interesting. We did a lot of tire house shoots, and I'm glad I did that. That was some very good fucking training. And that was like 5 days also. Every day, basically started 9, 10 in the morning and went till 6, 8 o'clock at night for a week. Went through a shit ton of ammo. And we were using this blue-tipped 5.56 ammo, which is basically an aluminum casing, and it was filled with chalk or cork or something, I don't know. You couldn't shoot anybody with it because it would fucking kill you, but in the shoot house, it wouldn't penetrate deeper than, I don't know, I think it was like 1 or 2 inches into the plywood sides of the building. And the way the building was, it was set up, the walls all moved, and there was a catwalk above so people could watch you and critique what you're doing. And for the first couple days, man, I was fucking a soup sandwich. Everything I did was wrong. It fucking was crazy. And then all of a sudden, boom, it's like a switch flips in your brain. You go back to the old way, and I was fine. Really like that. And then we did breaching charges, door kicking charges, and so forth. think that was three days. And I was shocked at how effective 3 pieces of 6-inch deck cord put between 2 pieces of 100-mile-an-hour tape. You tape that to an IV bag and hang it on the middle of a metal door. And it literally, when it explodes, the IV bag behind it tamps the blast so it goes forward, and it actually shrinks the size of the metal door so you can just push it over or open it up. It doesn't. And we fucked up some serious fucking tough-ass doors with that. I thought that was pretty cool. We did that. We had we used the IV bags, water bags. Let's see. We used a canteen. They all pretty much did the same thing. We did another one where you cut up a tire and you make a piece of rubber, which is about 6 inches by 6 inches, and then you put that right behind the kicker charge. And it was not quite as effective as the water, but it still did a pretty good job. I really liked that. That was cool. But, I only did, I don't know, I did the bare minimum of iterations of that as, the guy who was actually closest to the door. Because of my TBI from a blast injury, I was susceptible to, more injury of the same type. So I only did, I think it was like 4 or 5 a day where I was number 1 man, but the rest of them I was, 5, 6 guys in the stack, and I was a pretty good distance away, so the blast didn't really fuck me up too bad. I really enjoyed the shit out of that, but I did get fucked with a lot since I was older, and a lot of guys there were on the younger side, 22, 26, 28, and they're young bucks. They talk a big bunch of mad fucking trash. And this is back before, when we were just switching over from the old Alice system to the Molly system. And I was healing my back because it was fucked up in Iraq. So I refused to wear that fucking vest and all that crazy fucking shit. I still stuck with the old, Alice, stuff that hung on the belt, because the weight is on your hips, not on your spine. It worked out pretty good. And they gave me no end of shit about it. In fact, I got a model of it right here. Now, the one I originally had, I gave to a officer friend of mine when we went to Iraq or Afghanistan, and I believe he has it hanging on his wall. But this is the Franken belt right here. All right, you can see it's the old Alice belt system. It's connected to a weightlifting belt, which rides around your waist, so the weight rides on your hips. All right, and now I bolted it on here. You can see it's bolted right there, and then I, use some flexi cuffs to put it on there nice and tight, so it's never coming off there again. All right, now this particular one will hold 3, 6, 9, 21, 27. 33, 36 magazines. 36 fucking magazines if you want to go fucking full stupid retard and, load up on fucking ammo. Now, normally I didn't carry that many. Usually the back 2 pouches was like medical, and like one was like food, snacks, shit like that, maybe camo. But, yeah, like if you guys are still in the fucking service, this will save your fucking spine. Because what I started doing is I would wear this, then put on the armor system, and all of that would ride right on the top of these cases, and I wouldn't have that weight on my spine. So it really saved my back from just a huge fucking karma beatdown. Okay, so we got done with that, and then the drills after that were just standard bullshit drills. I think we went and did some range stuff, and there was like 1 or 2 jumps in there. And I was able to get one of my sergeants that was in my company when I was in Iraq. I basically hand walked him in and got him into 20th Group Special Forces. He was a little shaky in the beginning because he was older. He was 38, but he made it. He passed selection, and he got his fucking Green Beret. Damn good motherfucker. I understand he has a head case or a brain housing disconnect now, but after so many deployments, it's understandable. So, yeah, I hope he's doing good in the civilian world. If he sees this, he knows who I'm talking about. I'm not going to say his name. But this particular NCO was in the doghouse for over half the deployment, with his platoon when he went to Iraq. And he was the one that was stuck up there at Erbil in the scrapyard, got exposed to radiation. His platoon sergeant had him in the fucking doghouse, basically, called him a piece of shit, and he lost respect, pretty much from everyone in his platoon because of that. But when he walked for his beret, he sent me an email with pictures, and I forwarded that email to every motherfucker I had an email address for who went on that deployment. And I fucking specifically addressed his platoon sergeant, calling him a piece of shit, a bad judge of character, and completely unfucking professional. And I further added, if he had a problem with that, just to give me a call. I will meet him wherever he wishes and issue him the closed head injury he so richly deserved. But hey, he didn't take me up on it because he knew I'd fucking wear his shit out. But that's how it went down. Now, during this whole time, I was still recovering. I was still on the back end or the front end of the head injury. And a lot of things were going on in my household that, I don't know, I just didn't pick up on them for whatever reason. Probably it was a brain pan injury disconnect, but I noticed after a while, it was like my mind was out of focus, and then it came into focus, and then my gut feeling told me some shit was going on. All right, so I mean, this is really tough for me to talk about because it's really fucked my life, but it is what it is. Put me on the path I'm on now, and hopefully I'm helping a lot of guys out there by telling them the deal. All right, so I was driving to Chicago pretty much once a month. I usually leave on a Thursday, get there Thursday night, and then drill Friday, Saturday, and then drive back on Sunday, get back next Sunday night. And I just had some weird fucking feelings, like I told you earlier, and I put a fucking a keylogger on my computer, and then I hooked one right up to the router, so I would record everything that went through the router leaving our house. So I got to see all the fucking dirty, nasty bullshit that was going on. But, it is what it is. I was down there, and I remember I called home on Thursday night, Friday night, everything was cool. I called that Saturday afternoon, everything, seemed okay. And I called back like 8:30 on that night, and my now ex-wife was not at home. There was a babysitter. And at that moment, I knew, I fucking just knew the deal. So, I mean, it was literally like I had just been kicked by a donkey in the chest. And I was just a fucking wreck, man. I was just fucking totaled. I was totaled. My team chief just cut me loose, told me to go home and handle my shit. And I remember he walked me into the supply room. And apparently this happens all the time in the Special Forces. But this particular supply sergeant had a kit bag full of super secret spy shit, And he just walks me in and goes, hey, Pop's having some life problems. He needs the surveillance bag. Yeah, let him sign for it. And I'm like, he's like, all right, pulls it out. We inventory it. I signed for like $180,000 worth of equipment. Okay. And one of the items actually had DoD defense satellite time linked to it. So I thought that was pretty cool. I mean, we're talking the laser you can put on a window and you can fucking hear everything that's going on in the room. Bugs, the GPS tracker, like I said earlier, even more sophisticated equipment for intercepting cell phones, and, you know, an account to, you know, get access to that shit. So, I mean, it's pretty spooky. And if you think the NSA is not monitoring all your fucking shit, you got another thing fucking coming. I'm just going to say that. Because I was shocked at what I fucking learned, you know, from reading the manuals and using that equipment. But, you know, I got everything together. I confronted her. And I just said, don't even fucking deny it. I tracked your fucking car from space. You know, I have audio recordings. I got your fucking key logs. I got the fucking transmissions from this router for the past 2 weeks. You know, it's a fucking done deal. And, you know, I thought maybe I'd have a fucking good case and I would fare better in divorce court than most people since I had so much evidence. And it didn't mean shit. You know, they labeled me a murderer, an assassin, took my kids. Even after she fucking murdered my fucking, you know, chocolate lab named Ranger, who was 7 years old, or 6.5, 7 years old at the time. And, you know, and that was my awakening into how one-sided our society has become towards men. All right, it was fucking mind-boggling. You know, I was a former first sergeant, I was a Green Beret, Ranger, had a TS SCI clearance, and I'd had one for over 20 years. That means I'd been investigated 3 times for the TS SCI clearance. All right, and, you know, that didn't fucking mean shit. You know, she said some shit in court, and, oh my God, he's such a bad dude, and I just got fucking waylaid. So, I don't know, that's pretty much what did it for me, man. I wound up fucking shortly thereafter living out of my car for a while. And, you know, since I was going through a divorce and I wanted to stick close to my kids, this was like the beginning of 2007. So I had been at 20th Group for almost 2 years, maybe a little over 2 years. And I had no choice but to, you know, basically get out of the unit and move to a unit that was, you know, closer and not quite as, you know, deployment fucking heavy. So I could, you know, I thought I would stand a better chance, you know, while this was all going on and getting my kids. And, you know, that was pretty rough, you know, but, you know, like anything else in life is pain. And most of the time, if you want to grow, you're going to have to fucking go into the fire and feel the fucking pain. It's just that simple. It's like that when you forge soldiers from nothing. I mean, that's how they turn iron to steel. That's how they turn steel into fucking, you know, deadly weapons. You stick their ass in the fire over and over again and you beat the fucking shit out of them until you get the end product that you want. Now, perhaps that was the universe doing that to me because, you know, it led to this whole fucking thing here. But, you know, it's my therapy. Maybe I'm teaching some guys out there some shit. And if I'm saving if I save just one dude, I mean, it's all fucking worth it, man. All of the criticism, the hate mail, fucking, all of the fucking guff I have to go through because I do this fucking channel. And I don't use a fake name. It's my real face, you know, but it's all worth it. It's all worth it. And the rest is history, I guess, you know. I had a couple of my buddies pull some strings and get me a full-time position at an Army Reserve unit in Southfield, Michigan, which is like 8 miles away from my house. And that got me out of a lot of fucking problems because, you know, I had to take a bus from E8 to E7 to get onto the AGR program. But I was making, you know, E7 pay with BAH and BAQ and the whole fucking deal. So worked out pretty good. And I was able to pay the child support and then be able to afford a roof over my head and get off the street and, you know, have food and live like a fucking human being. So, I mean, that really fucking saved my ass, because I don't know what would have fucking happened if that had not taken place. I think it would have went down a real bad road and probably would have been the end of me. I'm just going to be honest. Because I was in a very bad place, PTSD, head injury, and get fucking treated like shit by the courts, betrayed by your wife, kill your fucking dog, and take your fucking kids away. It kind of sounds like a country song if you ask me, but what the fuck do I know? I only lived it, right? Oh man, that sucks. I hate talking about that. But, you know, after the divorce was final, I put together a booklet of all of the evidence I had gathered, and I emailed it to everyone that came to our wedding. And if they didn't, you know, have an email address, I mailed a hard copy to their fucking houses. Every swinging person who went to that fucking wedding knew the fucking deal. And one of the other reasons why I did that is I was hearing through the grapevine that, you know, she was at work and telling everyone how I was fucking crazy and abusive and all kinds of other crazy stuff, which is not the case at all. And I needed to clear my good name. So, you know, hey, you fuck with the popster, you're going to get the fucking horns. That's just the way I roll. Anyway, gentlemen, that's it for this sad, tragic fucking story here. From now on, it'll be, you know, AGR, Army Reserve stories for like, I think I have 10 years, 13 years worth of stuff to go through there. But it's not quite as interesting as the deployment and active duty stories, but there's still some lessons I learned and some lines I drew in the sand and a couple of battles I waged and won. And came out victorious, you should say. You know, it is what it is. But that's it for me, gentlemen. Sorry for rambling on so long. I'll talk to you guys later.